Hi everyone, it's Miss Mortimer here with the Primary 6 video on your maths for this week. And this week we are moving on to a brand new topic, which is multiplication. And in the first week we are going to be focusing on mental multiplication. Now from previous weeks, when we did addition, you will know that we did a week where we focused on mental calculations, and then we went on to written methods. So this will work in a similar way, where the first week we'll practice trying to do calculations in our head. Of course, we can use strategies that can help us using materials or writing down diagrams and things if we need that to scaffold ourselves to be able to work mentally in our heads. But we're building up that confidence to calculate things mentally. We are not writing down any written sums, chimney sums and things like that this week. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the worksheets that we're providing this week and go over them very briefly for you, but if you still have questions, feel free to ask your teachers. So first of all, we're going to look at the mild tasks. There are a range of different tasks. We do issue one per day, and there might be some spares. Now, some of our mild work might be trickier. I'll start with some of these. This one, and we have some mosaics here, which are excellent practice and good fun to sit in colouring and practice our times tables at the same time. If you don't have a printer though, then it might be slightly difficult for you to access that. I do know there is the opticians in town who is offering printing services, but if you feel like that wasn't something that you were able to do, then as always, you do not have to complete the tasks that we are offering. You can easily just do some times table practice. Separate from this, you could even use the questions that are on the sheets. I would not recommend drawing out the grids that are provided here, as that will be a lot of work. But unless the pupil wants to try and do that themselves, that's fine. But feel free to go on SumDog or Education City, where there are other maths tasks provided. So just a closer look at here. We have a few sheets. This one focuses on the 2 and the 10 times table. I believe the next one goes up to 5 and 10. And we're making emoji pictures, as you can see. 2, 3, 5 and 10. So very mild times tables. And each answer, you solve the math problems, the times table questions, and the answer to that question should correspond with one of the numbers up here, and it tells you to colour it in yellow, black, purple or blue. And that'll be very similar for the next one. The colours might be slightly different. Yep, we have red and white. Of course, white you can leave blank. You don't need to colour it in white. And you will reveal a picture. And this task is kind of similar. It doesn't reveal a picture, more a pattern, but you're colouring the things in the right colours, obviously without looking at the answers, and then you can check to see if you got it right. And again, up at the top it says if the answer is 0 to 10 is this colour, and so on. We also have this sheet provided here. And this is quite a good one to maybe test yourself on your times tables. So there's a times table wheel for each of the times tables: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And on the inner wheel, it goes, well, it's not in order, but we have 1 to 12 in there. So here you would have like 4 times 1, answer goes in there, 7 times 1, answer in there, 9 times 1, answer in there, and so on, and same for the other times tables. You could also time yourself to see how long you take this. This is something that everyone could be doing as a starter activity, and see how quickly they can complete it. And our final mild task is the sheet here. It only contains 12 questions. I believe the other one's the answers. Oh no, we do have slightly more. We have 2 sheets altogether, and there is a magnifying glass to highlight a missing number. Now sometimes it is the answer for example, the first one, 2 times 3, and you need to input the answer. But for question 2, it is the middle number that is missing. So 7 times what gives us 35. So it's building in a little bit of division skills there as well. Some of our sums are written backwards. I'm just jumping over here to number 9. So we have something equals 7 times 5. Now, although it's written backwards, you would still read it as 7 times 5 equals what? So having a look at our spicy tasks for this week, there is a series of tasks from the 6 times table all the way up to the 12 times tables that all look the same as this sheet, but focusing on a separate times table. So you have a grid and it asks you to count in 6s and colour in the grid. So you're colouring in the multiples or the answers to the 6 times table. You then go on to this side where you have some questions about the times tables, and then at the bottom you actually have a kind of pictorial reference of a block of 6 because we're doing the 6 times table, and you have 3 of them, so you would be doing 6 times 3 or 3 times 6. It doesn't matter what way around it goes, and putting in your answer there. And that, like I say, you have one of these sheets for all of the 6 to 12 times table. Here's an example of the 9 times table one. You can maybe tell that not much has changed apart from we are counting in 9s this time. The questions are 9s and we have blocks of 9. We do have a different task for spicy here, which is, oops, if I make it a little bit smaller. We have the ultimate times table challenge, and this could be your timed task that you time yourself with, and you can complete more than once in the week, maybe even every day, to see if you get a better time. And you have a series of questions to answer there. And finally, we have our extra hot tasks for this week. You also have a few timed challenges where you can actually record your time taken up here, the number correct, and you can write down your previous score. So again, this can be completed every day if you want it, and you can try and beat your score or beat your time. We have a similar task here using multiples of 10. I'll show a wee trick just after this on how you can answer these questions, as some people maybe don't quite realise how easy it actually can be. But you're doing questions that are in multiples of 10, so it's not quite, it's going beyond your times tables, sorry, is what I'm trying to say. We have some missing number questions. Again, you can record your score and your time and complete this over and over again, so practicing our times table skills in a different way for extra hot people. And then we go on to some word problems, which might involve using a bit of division as well, because you're using your times tables to figure out the answers. For example, a crate contains 32 packs of 4 water bottles. How many bottles are there in each crate? So you're going to be doing 32 divided by 4. So we're adding in a bit of division there, but using our multiplication knowledge. And we have some more wordy questions here that we can complete for that week. So I'm just going to show you, as it is part of one of our extra hot tasks, how to tackle a mental multiplication question that uses multiples of 10. So I've got 3 examples of questions here, quite simple ones. You could have trickier ones that involve higher multiples or more zeros in the question, but this method works every time. So we have, for first of all, 50 times 8. Then we have 90 times 9, 60 times 3. Now what I like to explain to pupils is what I'm going to be showing you here, but you might have a slightly different way of doing it. Of course, you could count up in 50s, you can count up in 90s, but one of our mental strategies is to use our times table knowledge and really simplify the question. So first of all, for 50 times 8, we almost ignore the 0, and the question becomes 5 times 8. Now pupils doing extra hot should be pretty confident in the answer to 5 times 8. I like to do maybe dots to show the numbers that aren't zeros. So 5 times 8 is 40. And then all we need to do is then add on any zeros we missed out. So we missed out 1 0, so we have to remember to add that on, and the answer is 400. And the method will work the same again, so we'll ignore this 0. 9 times 9 is 81. We missed a 0 out, so we need to remember to add that back in, because although we ignore it, we can't actually delete it and forget about it. It is important. It just means it's a strategy for it. It just allows us to have a strategy to answer the question in a more straightforward way. And again, the last example, 60 times 3, ignore the 0. 6 times 3 is 18, but we need to remember to add the 0. So hopefully that helps with your work for this week, Primary 6. But if you still have questions, remember you can always contact your teachers on Teams. Hope you're well, and I'll see you next week. Bye.